This episode of Mind Changes podcast is dedicated to my beautiful mother, whom I lost back on March the 12th. I wasn't going to do this episode, but you know what, Ma? You wouldn't want me to not do this. So listen, I love you, and this episode is dedicated to you. Listen, y'all, welcome to Mind Changes podcast, episode 82. I died and was sent back. The Irene journey, the Irene Vaksberg journey through death, pain, and the miracle that changed everything. This episode theme will focus on her near-death experience, immigrant struggles, identity and discrimination, success, rebuilding, chronic pain and mental warfare, loss of faith, divine intervention, discovering her purpose through suffering. Listen, let's get going, y'all.
Mind Changers International, changing lives for the better. Our vision is to be a transformative platform that exposes lies and reveals the truth. Mind Changers International, we on a mission, masking the falsehoods with every new edition. We're here to enlighten your mind with this vibration, expose the lies, speaking truth, normal conversations. Mind Changers International, we on a mission, masking the falsehoods.
Welcome back to Mind Changes Podcast. I'm your host, Lamar Blakeney. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Mind Changes Podcast. This is episode 82. Listen, y'all, this conversation is not casual. It's not surface level. This is about life, death, purpose, and what happened when everything you believe gets tested. Today's guest didn't just go through hardship. She crossed the line between life and death. She described going through a tunnel, entering to a place of peace, and encountering the Messiah, Jesus Christ. So listen, I want y'all to hold on because this is going to be a great episode here today on the Mind Changes podcast. Listen, I'm going to stop this music because we're going to get this thing started. So like I said, but here's the real question to everybody. What happens when someone is sent back with a purpose, but life still breaks them? What happens when pain becomes, how can I say, louder than your faith and hope begins to fade? So today, here on the Mind Changes podcast, we're going to unpack a story that moves from death to despair to divine intervention. So ladies and gentlemen, I want you to help me welcome Miss Irene Vaksberg to the Mind Changers podcast. How you doing, young lady?
Oh my God, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me here.
Listen,
And I'm sorry for your loss of your beautiful mother.
Yeah, this has been a tough trial, y'all. This has been a tough walk. But you know what? My mom would be proud of me to know that even though I got to put these eyeglasses on because I don't want y'all to see how much I've been crying, but that's just part of life. But we're here today to celebrate this young lady right here and everything that she's been through. So listen, introduce yourself to everybody right quick.
Hi, my name is Irene Vaksberg. I am so happy to be here. I'm a mother of two beautiful children. I was born in former Soviet Union, so English is my second language. So bear with me when I get excited. I make up words.
Yeah, listen, I'm still trying to learn English. Go ahead.
Okay, great. So, I live life to the fullest, and then I did it, and hairdresser for over 40 years, and life is good, and here I am.
Wonderful, wonderful. Listen, you reached out to me, you shared your story with me. Let me tell y'all something. This is an amazing story. Now, if you're on YouTube, listen, click on the description, go to YouTube. Go and pull us up on YouTube, because if you're on YouTube, you can communicate with Miss Irene Vaksberg live tonight, because this is a live podcast. So if I mess up, y'all, hey, there's no edit button. I just messed up. So listen, we're going to get to our first segment, Miss Irene. Let's talk about
Let's go.
the immigrant beginning, right? So, Irene, I would like for you to take us back to what life was like growing up in the Soviet Union before coming to America.
So life wasn't easy. I remember as a young girl vividly, like you said, it like literally had goosebumps. Would have to stand in line for everything. And one time I was standing in line for milk, and by the time I got to the counter, there was no milk. But I was there for 2 hours as a young girl. The
Wow.
same thing happened when bread was the same thing. Life was not easy, and on top of it, being Jewish, that wasn't easy. And when my parents decided to leave, it was even louder because the way you could only bring like jewelry or things of value so you can start a life in a different countries, they pierced our ears.
Wow.
And all the little girls had that done, and the teasing, the bullying became even more, things like, oh, go to your country, go to your motherland. They were sending us out of place that I called home. This is what I was born, but I wasn't welcome, and we couldn't practice religion or anything.
Yes,
So
because
it wasn't easy.
yeah, you was under
It wasn't
communism.
easy.
Yeah, you was under a communist
Exactly.
government at that time. So let me ask you this, Miss Irene. Where did you go, baby? Oh, where did she go? I have no idea where she went. Hold on. Let me see if I can get her back here. I don't know where she went to. Is she still here? Oh, okay. Hold on. I hope she come back on, y'all. I hope she comes back on up here. I think her battery must have went dead. Must have died. I'll talk better than yet. I believe her battery died on her phone. And this is an exciting episode, so I hope she plug it back in and come back on. But she has a truly amazing story um, about her life. Oh, there she go. What happened? Your battery went dead? Okay, she'll come back, y'all. Yeah, so I'm gonna give her a chance to come back. Listen, this was a truly amazing story to the point where there she go, there she go. I don't know what happened, Miss
Hi.
Irene.
No, my battery is full, but there was an interruption, and I closed I made it no interruption, but I don't know.
Okay,
Somebody called me and is disconnected, but I'm sorry
okay,
about that.
okay. So I meant to tell you to put your phone on do not disturb, something like that. Because when you use your phone, a lot of times things happen. Like I told y'all, this is a live podcast. We're not playing around. This is not
I'm
edited.
so sorry. I'm
Hey,
so sorry.
you're
I did
perfectly fine.
minimum interruptions, but one snacked out.
So listen, I got a question for you because I'm gonna
Yes,
treat I'm gonna treat you today like I'm a journalist, which I'm really not, y'all, but I'm gonna
let's
try to
go.
be one today. And you are the person that I am interviewing. So I want to dig deep into your story because you have a remarkable story. So now you left the Soviet Union, right? And you come
Yes.
to America. When you arrived in America at 12 years old, what was the emotional reality of starting over?
Well, at 12, everything seems big, different. There were so many cultures, there were so many noise. You don't understand the language. So it sounded like you were in chaos,
Oh wow.
and right, because you don't understand, and you're starting school, kids are making fun of you, body language says it all, and you're like sitting there in the corner and somebody pointing a finger if you're saying something and you're not pronouncing it right because you know I'm not sure what I'm saying or doing.
Hmm.
It wasn't easy. Your self esteem goes down at 12. This is where the formative years are being built, and you can't develop because you don't understand the language.
Yeah, and I'm
So
telling you.
it's a struggle.
Go ahead. Can
And
continue.
I was going to say, so it was like completely flipped because here in United States it was really shocking. Nobody cared we were Jewish, but then the hate came. They were Russian, right? So
Oh
like I felt
wow.
like I couldn't win, and people were teasing me and saying all kinds of mean things, especially in high school when I already could
Wow.
speak English and understood. And you remember that plane that was blew up. God bless those people. May they rest in peace. By Russia. So I was the fault. I'm like, dude, I'm sitting right next to you. I didn't press anybody.
That's right. That's right. That's
Right?
that discrimination that a lot of us have been through. But how did you cope with being treated like a Russian, although you are a Jewish citizen? Well, a Jewish person.
Well, it's so, but I was born for Russian Jewish. That's kind of how I call
Okay.
myself. You know something? I don't know. It was just there. I never thought about it. It's something that I had to go through. Did I like it? No. Did it hurt my feelings that people judged me before they knew me just by the religion and my
Yeah.
culture? It's just and what I've learned is the fear of unknown. If you've never spoken to somebody besides the community you live in, you don't know. And I've always encouraged people, go and mingle, get out of your community, get to know the stranger, walk in somebody else's shoes. The only way we become more of one community is by learning about others,
That's correct.
right? And that's what I love America. It's a melting pot, and my community is national, international. Most of my friends speak many different languages.
Wow.
Traveled the world. I love culture, so you know I, I welcome that. And again, I understood the hate is not, you're not born hateful, you are taught hatefulness.
Absolutely. Say that again.
You're not born hateful, you are taught hatefulness. And why? And I'm going to share something with you. At 16 years old, I went into interfaith, um like a 1 week of a camp for young
Uh-huh.
adults. And it was very, very powerful, because for me, religion discriminates and religion divides us. In the name of God, depending what you believe, it creates division. So at one person time of my life, I said, I didn't even know what atheist meant, but if as long as I don't discriminate about someone of religion, I'm gonna be atheist. And it was so powerful. There was many different cultures, religion, and listening to some people that lived and grew up in the smallest town, never saw African American person or never spoke to a Jewish
Mm-hmm.
person, and the stereotypes that came out. Like, we literally stood in front of another person, whatever first thing came to our mind, we have to say it, and it was like my brain was on fire. But by the end of disgusting things that was said, but the child doesn't know. Somebody told the child to feel about someone like
Uh-huh.
that, right? The stereotype. So by the time we left, um, a white person that never stood next to a black person or hugged them, there was so much damn love.
Oh
Or
wow.
never met a Jewish person, right? And we were hugging out. And never, I'm not like, I got a double whammy, Russian and Jewish. And so it was just like the eye opening and the beautiful experience of unity
Uh-huh.
by re brainwashing. That's how I call it.
Gotcha.
Relearning what we've been taught. Like, the older I get, the more I learn, but I also have to relearn. Make
Gotcha.
sense?
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
I was reading your bio, and this is how I've crafted these questions based off of the bio that you sent me. One question I have is about your father, right? Your father
Sure.
said when you came to America, like, this is the land of opportunity. Go knock on doors.
Yes.
How did
Yes.
that shape your mindset?
Listen, I did exactly what he said. He said, we came to this country to live the American dream. You work hard, you you will get somewhere. We're not lazy. We're not going to be lazy. We didn't come here to take. We came to give and support. So, and that's what did. Paper route. I was the paper girl
Oh
of the
wow.
week, of the month. I got to meet the mayor, take a picture with him, and it's a boys thing to do. But my sister and I were the top, hustlers. I call that. I think I
Hustlers.
made it.
I
That's how
got
I
you.
felt.
Hey,
Like
newspaper
my
hustlers.
Yeah, basically, yeah, that's how I felt. So my paper route, like I was nominated, I won. It was a beautiful moment for this little immigrant girl, right?
Uh-huh.
To be honored and have a picture with the mayor,
Oh wow.
and so that was great. Babysitting. So entrepreneurship was part of my life from a young age. My parents worked for themselves, and they worked at a swap meets and selling T-shirts. So we grew up. Like always say, I'm street smart first and book smart second, and combining together, I'm powerhouse.
I see. So back in school, when you went to school, they be like, "Girl, what you do, girl? I sling paper. I'm a paper slinger. Y'all don't understand. I'm a paper slinger. I be slinging them newspapers. Wham! Hey, Mr. Jones. Hey, Miss Jones. Wow. So you was a newspaper slinger.
And so if somebody been a paper, if they had a paper route, they understand that when you have a cash customers, you make great money. But when you
Yes.
have just everybody prepays, you don't see those people. But let
Yeah.
me tell you, I made so much money because my paper was never wet, never late. In Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island,
Oh
snow,
wow.
it doesn't matter. You get up and you go do it. 5 o'clock in the morning for Sunday paper, we had to deliver. And then we had to go to a swap meet to work with our parents. So work ethic was really built into
Oh
us with a
wow.
young age, and I'm so grateful for that. But Christmas came along, I made more than my sister made, and her paper route was small, cash only, and I'm like my tips doubled. My Christmas, tips was amazing. So we take pride in our work, and if I say I'm going to do something, I'm doing 100%, and that's what my father installed in us. Community. He always said, I've never made anybody angry, and I haven't stole from anybody. I gave. And that's how we
Gotcha.
were led to live.
Gotcha.
Take
So
care of
listen.
the neighbor.
Yeah, if y'all just tuning in, this is episode 82. I died and was sent back. I call it the Irene Vaksberg story. So listen, Miss Irene, we're gonna jump into we're gonna get to the meat, right? Let's talk about
Okay.
your first collision with death, right? So I'm gonna ask you a question.
Yes.
Your first collision with death. Now, I have a speech impairment. I told you I'm still learning how to speak English myself, right? So listen. So
It's two
walk
of us.
so walk walk the Mind Changers podcast audience through the first accident, right? What do you remember about the moment with your child in the car? Because more happens. I don't want to give it away. So what do you remember about that moment with your child in the car with you?
So going home 2 blocks away, the T-bone, the drunk driver hit us. The car spins. Boom. Um, I saw the whole entire thing out of my body. I was
Wow.
hovering on top of the car. I saw the paramedics. I was like, my daughter's in the car. And I can hear the paramedics saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe she's alive."
Wow.
The crash was so bad, like the car was smooshed. My passenger seat moved my first husband's basically out, and I was
Wow.
like, "Oh my God, I hope my child is okay." And you know something? When I think about that moment, and I was thinking, thank goodness my ex-husband tinted the windows, and we actually had the worst fight about it because he tinted the windows so dark that you couldn't see out.
Hmm.
But that little film actually saved my daughter's life, because when the backseat window came out, it fell in one piece instead of sharpness.
Oh, wow.
So I feel like at that time, like God really protected. I didn't know the protection was being put into place.
Oh, wow.
And right, like when those little details, I remember after I was speaking to, not remember, but like understood the meaning of it, even though it happened so many years ago. And I kind of left and I went through the tunnel.
Yeah, and I want to talk about that because when I read your bio and you said something about the tunnel, right? There's so many people who have died, and everybody this famous tunnel, right? Everybody talk about this tunnel. So let me ask you this: when you describe going through the tunnel, right, and entering into this white space, I remember everything you sent to me. What did you feel in that moment? What was going through your mind? What were you feeling in that moment?
Happiness. I felt safe. I felt relief. I felt like I was protected. I felt that somebody got my back because I felt so alone in my marriage. I felt like I was struggling and
Oh wow.
depression and I did, I mean, I loved my husband at the time, but I probably would have not married if culturally I could have left my home and lived on my own. But culturally at that time, that wasn't an option. I either had to go to college or marriage, and college wasn't for me because I was making really good money already. So my
Wow.
option was marriage, and I had no option. So I didn't want to go back. I really just wanted to stay in this safe, loving, supportive space that somebody I knew that I, like I said, could rely on.
Wow, wow. So listen, y'all. I hope y'all getting all of this because how many people can say I went and was sent back versus I went or didn't even get there, right? So I found this video that I want us to look at. Okay, I do not own the rights to this video. I found this video, and I think you and I are going to have a great conversation after this because I have one more question, and that one more question I'm gonna save it to after this video. Okay, so let's check this out.
When I left my body, that was one of the things that disturbed me the most. It was like, what in the world is she sad for? This is so beautiful. This is so perfect. I'm not hurting, no, I'm not confused. That guy is dead, but I'm alive. I mean, this is beautiful, you know? So to me, that just clarifies that it's not a hallucination. I learned while I was out of my body. I saw in real time what was happening to me, and everything, when I opened my eyes, continued in real time. There wasn't.
Now I'm gonna pause that. Can you relate to him with that?
Oh yeah, like I'm literally having tears in my eyes.
Yeah. So tell me, listening to what he's saying, right? Tell me how you're feeling in this moment because I asked God, I need something because I want to draw. I want to draw from her today because my mom's gone. And I'm not going to cry, y'all. My mom is gone. But guess what? She experienced something that you've already experienced. She just didn't come back. So listen, when he said what he just said, tell me what's going through your mind.
Peace, faith, optimism, whole. I feel whole. Like such a beautiful. It brought me back to the room that I entered. It kind of gave me that strength that I got from when I was there,
Uh-huh.
and it's hard to put into words. It's a feeling that's really hard to explain because the energy is so divine that it's really hard to, normally you would say, well, I wish you could experience.
Yeah, yeah. I listen. I want to
You
experience
understand,
Jesus,
right?
but I don't want to experience it right now.
Yeah, exactly,
So
exactly.
listen.
And,
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, so it's a very far. It's like tears. It, it tears me because it brought me back to the most safest place at 23 years old that I felt most
Wow.
loved and most protected and most supported.
Wow.
Well,
So
I was broken. I was broken at that time. I was miserable
wow.
at that time, right? And that moment was so light and bright, and the beauty of the, again, restored faith, and just it was it's so hard. It's like what's really hard to put into words, but it kind of rehealed me again. I re-energized me again.
Okay, so listen, we got more of it, right? We're gonna pick this apart,
Yes,
okay? You and we're gonna pick this apart. So I'm gonna let him
that's
continue.
good.
No separation
Sure.
in my awareness, gap in between what I was experiencing, whether I was in the body or out of the body. It was a continual flow of experience. Once I did leave my body and I looked down, there was a lot of things that I came to understand. Like, he's dead, his body's dead, the mind is dead, the ego's dead. And after that kind of series of kind of realizations, it was like, well, then what's left? Like, what am I? you know, and the words flooded in very clearly. It was audible. These words were light, energy, soul, spirit, awareness. It's just a flood of words. They weren't in a line like more mechanical. It was like a bunch of voices just said these words. But it felt like it was me explaining this to myself.
Wow. So can you relate to that part for me right quick?
Yes, of course, because I heard a story, messages as well. Girl, you need to go back. You need to help your daughter. You need to go learn. You need to
Wow.
teach. You need to guide people to the light. You need to help people heal. I'm like, I know I need to learn. I'll take that. But how this Russian girl that barely speaks good quality of English gonna teach, gonna lead, gonna inspire, I heard you going to be like the light warrior. You're going to inspire people. I'm like, what in the world? I'm about to get divorced. That's how I felt. Like I'm about to get divorced, and you're telling me that I'm gonna go lead. Like it made no sense. I was really really confused. But really, when the message was coming to me, I felt safe, and I kind of understood the assignment. But it was overwhelming because there was just so much going on. What do you mean I'm seeing Jesus? What do I mean he's touching
Now I want you to
me?
hold on to that one. Yeah, I want you to hold on to the Jesus part. We ain't gonna get there yet. We're gonna hold on to that. So look,
I get so excited.
No, I want you to be excited because it's an exciting story. So I want to finish this right here, and then we're gonna have the next conversation. So let's look at this.
Everything was energy. Everything felt like love. And I felt like a part of that whole thing. I didn't feel separate from it at all. And everything that I looked at, every question I had, the clarity was instantaneous. And in that process, I was clear. Like I was, what's that? What's that? What's that? It was like a baby having everything was an moment. And I moved from one thing to the next with that childlike wonder and amazement at what I was seeing. There was no memory of this human experience that I was referring any of it back. There was no mind like that. It was just a awareness that was beholding these things and integrating them like instantly. So I'm watching everything. I'm watching the woman that's holding her face and just sad about me dying. And after a while, I'm paying attention to stuff, and I just kind of casually take my attention up. And when I do that, instantly I'm in space. When I left my body, that was one of the things that.
Wow. So now that's a young fella who had an experience, right? He had an experience, and that experience was divine. So you can relate to this whole message. That's why I brought it today, because I knew that this video would get me what I need from you, because people need to hear what you have to say, Miss Irene. They do.
Yeah.
So let's go to that next question. When you encountered Jesus, and somebody must be calling her. Okay, she gonna come back, y'all. They gonna stop calling Miss Irene. Stop calling her, Satan. Tell him to stop calling. Don't you call her no more. Be like Al Sharpton. Y'all gotta stop calling this lady, because we got to do this podcast. My name is Al Sharpton, and I'm here today waiting for Miss Irene to come back to the podcast. Yes, we know Donald Trump and his cohorts are doing everything that they can do to hurt America. But I'm Al Sharpton. I ain't really Al Sharpton, but I'm using my Al Sharpton voice. So, Miss Irene, I'm going to pray in the name of Jesus that you come back to the podcast. Yes, I know this ain't Sunday morning when I do my radio show, but I need for Miss Irene to come back to the podcast show. But listen, y'all, she'll come back. Somebody might have called her or something like that. This is why I always try to have people come on their computer. They got to worry about nobody phone calling them. So Miss Irene incurred. There she go. I think she's coming back now. Okay. Is she coming back? All right. So we're going to talk to her when she get back. Okay, Miss Irene.
I am so sorry.
Uh,
That was something else that popped on my phone.
okay, okay. Well, listen, we're gonna get
It's
Jesus.
divine intervention.
I got you. I got you. So listen. So let's get to that. I was doing my Al Sharpton voice. You familiar with Al Sharpton?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I was doing my. Listen, I'm here with Miss Irene, and she's gonna talk about when she encountered Jesus and where he told you to return. Let me start joking, y'all. All right. So listen, Miss Irene, when you encountered Jesus, the Messiah, Yahushua, right, and were told to return, did it feel like comfort or did it feel like an assignment?
It felt like I was going back to hell. It was neither. I
Oh,
didn't want to go. I didn't want to come back. It was the most peaceful 30 seconds or a minute of my life of 23 years, or at least the last 3 years. I was like, no, please, God, don't send me back. I want to be here in this peaceful, beautiful moment, because the moment I would go back into my body, I know I'm going to really, I felt like I was going back to hell.
oh
And
wow,
it literally, I in the emergency room, I saw myself coming back into this my own body, right?
wow.
I was hovering over myself and just got in, and I'm like, oh no, no, please
You don't want to
don't.
come back.
I didn't want to come back, even though I had a daughter and I had dreams and I had goals and I knew that I'm going to go do amazing things. But that peace and the joy, knowing that I can rely on something, like I
Yeah.
felt so protected, and I walked alone. And after that accident, I walked alone for a long,
Wow.
long time.
So let me ask you this. Tell me, when you saw Jesus, what did you see? Did you see energy? Did you see a being, a person, or did you just see love? Because I hear people say, I saw love, I felt love, it was an energy. What did you see?
All of the above. In front of me, this, you know, uh, like you would see Jesus, right, in a white uh dress and a stick and a beard and light hair. Like it was interesting. It was a physical human being standing in front of me, actually behind me first, putting his hand on me. I saw a physical human being touching
Wow.
me and saying, it's going to be okay, you're going to be fine, it's not your time, you need to go do these things, but share this experience with
Wow.
others. And I'm thinking, people gonna think I'm nuts.
Yeah. No, they're not. They're not. Because it's gonna lead me to my next question, right? Here's my next question. When your testimony is misunderstood, we're gonna talk about
Yes.
when your because I'm sure people misunderstand your testimony, right? So
Yes.
when people began interpreting your experience through their own beliefs, how did that affect you?
Oh, it took that beautiful, special moment, and I felt like it turned into this commercialized entity.
Mm,
I felt in many ways, I don't want to say used, but used, and also like attacked,
mm-hmm.
but because I didn't agree with what the message was coming towards me. Well, why aren't you this? Why aren't you accepting that? Why aren't you living like this? You got saved. Why isn't Jesus is your savior? Yeah, he is my savior, but in my own beautiful, special way, he saved me. Not like he saved you. And that happened for almost 2 years or so. And then I'm like, something, I'm so tired sharing this beautiful experience, how I
Mm-hmm.
met Jesus, what it meant for me, how he inspired me, how he gave me a mission, a purpose, and passion to go learn, to go explore. And you taking that away from me, I'm just going to keep it to myself. I'm just going to be with me, myself, and I, and Jesus.
Got you. So basically, what I'm hearing you say is, my bishop. He always come back to hearing what you say. So what I'm hearing what you say is this: somebody took something sacred from you, and which was your testimony.
Yes.
So when they did that, what was lost? When they took that sacred, special testimony from you, what was lost?
The experience of itself, the beauty of it, they brought it down to their own experience and forgot about mine and
Ah.
want me, right? Like, so they're like, well, this happened, well, well, but why aren't you like this, why aren't you using this moment to
Mm-hmm.
be this way? Well, because that's not my purpose, that is not how it meant for me. This is, this, it's like, well, you, the worst part of me, for me, people told me that my relationship with God was not truthful because I didn't practice it their way. And they
Mm.
minimized my own personal experience. God walks with me. And I used to get angry, and then I used to go, well, I know maybe you go to church, but do you really have a relationship with God? I may not go
Key.
to church, but I pray
Key.
every day. Yes. And I pray to God every day, and He walks with me. I have a relationship with Him beyond some sort of a building, no matter what it is. And they didn't like that. They wanted me, because God saved me. They wanted me to be in a church and
Mm-hmm.
reading the Bible, or whoever I was sharing with. They wanted me to read their book, and I said, I don't need to read the book. God told me what I need to do. God told me that I need to guide people to humanity, to their own healing, to their own light, that it's in them and shining bright. So, and it made me very sad, and I had to stop because it took that special, beautiful, peaceful, calm, loving, sacred experience and made this commercialized and
Mm-hmm.
argumentative. Well, that's not right, that's not how it is, that's not what the meaning is. They wanted to put their meaning of their relationship with God into mine, but that's not my meaning.
I got you. I got you. And you know me. You know that I'm an elder. I'm in ministry, and
Yes.
one thing I had to learn, when I was a little young pup in the ministry. I'm gonna say it like that. That you know your experience is your experience. You can't unexperience an experience.
Yeah.
And we as believers, I don't call myself a Christian. I call myself a believer. We as believers feel like we have to do a certain thing, and doing that thing gets us closer to God. But if you have no relationship with Him, no matter what you do, it's not performance based anymore. In the Old Testament,
Yeah.
it was performance based. Now it's grace, and now it's having a true relationship with God where you know Him and He know you. So I can understand how um some of us can be with a person who says, "Hey, I don't want to read the Bible because I have a personal relationship with Him." And then we say, "Okay, because you ain't reading this Bible, that don't mean you going to heaven or you know God." That don't mean
Yeah.
that. That don't mean that. But that's another episode. Let's go to segment 4, building the dream. Right. So after the divorce, what did building your salon represent for you? Because you told me you built a salon, right? So I ain't
Yes.
forgot nothing.
Yes.
I hadn't forgotten anything.
You're
Ah,
you're amazing. You're
yes,
amazing.
yes. Because like I said, I want people to know who Miss Irene Vaksberg is. So
Thank you.
we're gonna talk about building the dream. After your divorce, what did building your salon represent for you?
American dream, and all the sacrifice that my parents did to bring us to this country, leaving their whole entire moms and dads and cousins and sisters and brothers for us to be able to be what we're meant to be,
Mm-hmm.
free to be, right? And I took that to heart, and so did my sister, and to show that, um as an immigrant, and me speaking with an accent, I was told I will never be successful. I was
Wow.
told nobody's going to sit in my chair because I speak funny. And, one lady said to me, well, I don't want to sit in a chair with a hairdresser that I don't understand per se. And I'm like, what do you mean? We're having a conversation. You perfectly understand me. So So I was like, I am going to show you. I, of course, I did it for me, but I also wanted to show the people that didn't believe in me.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it mattered, but the times were different. Now I know better that I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, and not only did I did it, and not only did I had a there's a chutzpah. I had a dare to do it. I wanted to work for Josiah Bear. If you know, he was one of the famous hairdressers in
Okay.
the 80s. He was top of the line, celebrity status. And me, with my Russian accent, got my little butt, can I say that hopefully,
You good.
into the into his salon, gorgeous, beautiful, um and got a job there. I got the
Wow.
job. I applied and they got me with my accent on top of it.
Wow. Wow. So,
But I didn't take it because it did not align with my mission, and my purpose is to community. I did not see myself doing haircuts for books or doing haircuts for canned food or supporting, homeless people. And that's my business, is all about community and helping others. But I did find a salon
mm-hmm.
that I was able to do that. But the point of this is that I did my dream, meaning that was my dream, to walk into the salon, get that job, and move on. I knew that I could do it, and that built my confidence, right? Like, oh my God, look what I just did.
Wow.
I got
Wow.
that gig. Look, I'm an immigrant. I speak funny. I wanted to show that to other immigrants, or that people who speak funny, right? Like, these
Yeah.
accents are from all over the world. You got this. If you're different, right? It doesn't have to be immigrant. What you think is your weakness is actually becomes your strength.
Go on, girl. I hear you. I hear you right there. You said something powerful. If y'all didn't hear that, y'all better hear it again. So listen, now we're going to get into something, because let me ask you a question. Are you accident prone?
Yes. No.
Cause this
No.
next segment, y'all may think she's accident prone, y'all. So listen, this is the second breakdown, right? All right, what happened in the second accident that changed everything? Now, she had the first accident, y'all. That's why I asked her, was she accident prone? Now, so what happened in the second accident, right, that changed everything again?
Yes. So second car accident was the same way the car accident. T-boned. I don't drive, so I'm always being driven. A guy fell asleep, and the most interesting part was 20 years apart. And it took some time to connect continuation of the first car accident, tying everything in with the second one.
Mm-hmm.
So that all changed. That car accident destroyed everything that I've built. But also, the reason behind it is that I stopped sharing the first car accident story. I stopped leading. I stopped learning in many ways. Life took a different course.
Wow.
Second divorce, miscarriage, oldest child needed me in many different ways. So life shifted. I walked, but I talked, but I didn't walk,
I
if
got
it
you. I
makes
got you.
sense, right? So I felt, and I was needed to reorganize my community. I needed to reorganize my business. I was saying it, but I wasn't doing. And I believe
Mm-hmm.
you send it to the universe, it'll take care of it. Universe brings you back what you're asking for. But I wasn't taking the steps to organize it
Uh-huh.
myself. So the second car accident said, okay, you're gonna start from scratch. You've been playing messy, and you've been saying you need to do A, B, C, and D. I'm going to take care of it for you. You want change? Well, here it is. Chronic pain, anxiety, depression, lost almost a six-figure business, lost my
Wow.
community because I didn't reorganize the community. I realized that I never had the community. People only came to me because I took care of my community. When I had money, everybody had it.
I
Nobody
got
was
you.
without.
I got you.
So, and what I realized that I needed to go through that again, right? So pain teaches us
Mm-hmm.
not to procrastinate in life. Life is very precious. If we take it for granted and don't live it to the fullest potential, we're not doing it a service. So chronic pain, anxiety, depression, doctors neglected my pain. My neurology crashed. and my body started to shake and spasm. My 12 years old was taking care of me,
Wow.
and doctors gave up on me and said, I'm sorry, we can't help you anymore. You're going to be in a wheelchair. That was like the coffin in the nail in the coffin.
Wow.
And that, like, it took everything. I already was depressed. I was already losing my faith.
Mhm. So let me ask you this. How did chronic pain reshape your identity in daily life? Because your daughter literally became your caretaker, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's talk about that. You know, how did it feel for you? And I know I just asked you a question, but we're going to put that question to the side. I got to close my eyes. Okay. I'm going to go to this question first. What did it feel like watching your daughter step in to care for you?
I felt useless. I felt empty. I felt like, you know, I betrayed her. Young children should not be taking care of your parents. I felt like, what kind of mother am I that she has to take care of me? She had to get dressed. I had to get to work. I still had to pay
Wow.
some, bills piling up. And, her childhood was in stress. And we
Yeah.
just few years ago finally start talking about how that affected her. Chronic pain does not affect only you personally, it affects your whole entire
Mm-hmm.
support system. And my child was, had to, basically sometimes dressed me.
Oh, wow.
And it was I felt useless and broken and prisoner of my home and prisoner of my body, prisoner of my negative thoughts. And I'm a very strong person.
Uh-huh.
Glass is always overflowing, and here it is empty, and I'm cussing at God. Asking
Wow.
for the first time, why me? I mean, I know why me now. And I was like, I'm done. And like, if I have to be in a wheelchair and this is going to be our life, I'm like, I want to go. She'll cry for a minute,
Wow.
and life goes on, and she'll have a beautiful life because I already prepared my children. We talk about, dad, not, it's not an easy subject, but
Mm-hmm.
I also wanted for them to be comfortable around it. And so, she was prepared, not prepared for me to go, but she understood that, look,
Yeah.
cry for me and then go live and, go do what you need to do, girl. But yeah, so yeah, I felt useless.
Yeah. So,
As a human being as well.
yeah. So that means you lost something. So at that point, you was losing or lost your faith. Is that fair to say?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay. So
I was empty.
how does someone who had a divine encounter later feel abandoned by God?
Anger. I was angry.
He
I
was
told
angry.
him. I was like, what are you doing? I've been praying to you for 6 years and you are not here. You're not hearing my prayer. I mean, I'm crying because it was such a deep emotional conversation. And I was like, where are you? Why are you putting me through this again? I just came from really difficult moment and he was there with me, but like, I don't feel you. I don't see you. I feel alone and kind of betrayed. And
Wow.
I'm like, I'm done with you. I'm done with life. But at
Wow.
the same time, I still prayed. It gave me comfort, but I just didn't know what it was even coming from. Like I didn't think it was God. I thought it was like universe.
Yeah, I
I like
got you.
switched to universe, but it was God.
Yeah. So when you felt like your prayers were going unanswered, I'm trying to think, what began to break inside of you?
My soul.
Wow.
I felt empty. I felt an empty, broken human being because I couldn't take care of myself.
Yeah.
I did it. Wheelchair could, I'm a hairdresser. I don't know what else to do. Like, that's been my life. Like, I can't spell to save my life. So, can be in the reception. Definitely cannot be a waitress. I was like, how am I going to support this family? what am I going to do? Like, how am I going to be a
Yeah.
provider? So, and it's like, what is life looks like for me? Who's going to
Yeah.
love me if I don't love myself? I was ready to go and have find some love.
I got you.
And who's gonna, if I don't love myself and I feel broken, how is that? Who's gonna love me? Who's gonna
Yes.
do this? And I know nobody can heal me except me. Nobody can give me love except me. And I didn't want to love myself in this place. I was tired of loving myself.
Wow.
I was tired of pep talking. It's gonna be okay. All the positive reinforcements, all of those beautiful words that I've used to get myself out of different situations. It's just a moment. No giving up
Mm-hmm.
here. You got it. None of that. Like that was like I was angry. Somebody sent me a motivational little note. I was like, go away with
You
that
didn't want to hear
crap.
nothing about it. You was like, you know what, y'all, I'm sick of this. I don't believe or feel nothing. Okay.
Nothing.
So let's go now. Obviously, you overcame that. So let's talk about the prayer of surrender, right?
Yes.
What was the difference? Because listen, I'm paying attention. I studied your story.
Thank
What
you.
was the difference about the moment you finally said, you know what, God? Take me. Take me now, Lord. Just use me. Just use me, Lord. Take me there. Take me there. The moment you I'm a funny guy.
It's okay. I love it.
What was the difference about the moment you finally surrendered?
I was so tired. I was so broken. I was exhausted of my life. I'm a happy go lucky person. I go dancing, I go travel. I saw none of that. It's like, what kind of life I'm going to live? And again, that's what I thought of my daughter. She's going to struggle. I don't want her to struggle. And I was like, I'm over it. And I have a bunch of meds in front of me, vodka. And I said, which combination can I do to go the fastest?
So
And
hold on, I'm gonna stop right there. So you literally went from seeing Jesus, being brought back, to now being in a place where, you know what? I'm done. Let me see how I can leave this place now. I had enough. My daughter taking care of me. I can't care for the family. So now you're in this place where you just say, hey, you know what? I'm going to surrender.
Well, I didn't think I was surrendering until later. For me, I gave up. I said, so that came few years later when I was in a podcast, and that was brought to my attention.
Wow.
That surrendering, that's what I did. But for me, surrendering it's a negative word, because surrendering means like in war, I'm
give
surrendering,
up.
take me, give up.
Yeah, because you came from a place that if you surrendered, it was over.
Yeah, so that was an interesting conversation itself. That podcast was 15 minutes. It became an hour and 15 minutes because she had, I had to, like, it was very powerful. But yeah, I gave up, and I'm going to go with that for now. And I said, God, I'm done. Take me away. I'm done. And 1 week, I hear this voice, Irene, pray to stay. Irene, pray for your miracle. I'm like, what are you talking about? Doctor said there's no option for me except a wheelchair. Please take me away. I can't be here anymore. I have no life. I'm broken. I feel empty. And God's like, no, pray to stay. And I was so tired of that noise in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay. I sat in my prayer chair. I called it my prayer chair. And I said, God, I'm done. Here. You make the decision. And, I could hear it in my head. He said, okay, you have one wish, not 3 wishes. Like, God is fine. It's like, it's not genie in a bottle. You can wish 3 times. It's just one wish. Make it the best, the most craziest and wildest. Use your imagination. I had no imagination because I felt so broken and empty. But I said, okay. And then you're going to leave me alone, because I wanted that noise of positivity to go away. So I said, I want drug-free, non-invasive, no chemicals, no side effect. I said, I have 2 pennies to my name and make sure it's not expensive. And I said, if it's a bit, I said, I need a business. I'm going to be in a wheelchair. It's hard to cut hair when you're shaking. And in a wheelchair on top of it, there has to have mission, purpose driven first. Everything else secondary. I said, you know how we do in my chair. We cut hair for canned foods, and there's not about profit. Single mothers come and they get free haircuts. Fathers free, whatever they can afford. And I said, if you answer my prayers and you just said to keep me, there better be some miracle coming my way. Don't play with me. I'm done here.
Wow.
And I said, if you give it to me, I promise I will share it. That I didn't have faith in you, but you still had faith in me. I didn't believe in power of prayer, but you still got me. And of course, if you send me the miracle, I will share it loudly and proudly that you delivered. And I didn't believe in anything. And I said, God bless, here it is. And miracle came pretty fast, but I said no for 4 months.
Oh, wow.
Because I tried so much to believe, and doctors said there's nothing there, nothing to help. And I made peace with pain, and I made peace to go.
Wow.
And I didn't want to be disappointed in another thing that would not work, because that would be so much more painful than the pain that I lived in.
Wow. You said you made peace with pain. Now, I've never heard that before. You made peace. How do we make peace with pain?
I said, well, this is my life. Well, you give up. Like, I gave up. I made peace with pain, saying, this is my broken body. I hate my life. I don't want to be here. God, take me away. I acknowledged it, right? I acknowledged the pain. I said, this is my screwed up life now. I made peace with being broken. That's why I didn't take the miracle for 4 months.
Wow.
I didn't want it. I said, I'm good. I know how to handle this hot mess. I know how to deal with my pain. Mind over matter, more pills, more alcohol. I would swallow some drugs, pain relief. I'm not going to mention them, but the highest you can think of, the addicted ones, and they didn't help. And let's get a shot of vodka. Let's have a glass of wine.
Wow, you was going at it.
I was going at it, and then you become numb, and then you don't care, right? Like, you become numb, you don't care, this is it, and depression sits in more and more. That's where you pray to go, right? That's what happens.
That's correct.
So making peace with pain is not a good thing. It wasn't a good thing, but there you go. So God answered it magically. My friend sent me the technology. I put it on in the.
And we can hold on to that. We're gonna get to that.
Okay,
we're gonna get to that. So let's talk about the miracle moment, which you are leading into right now. All right. So, what made you open? What opened you up to? What opened you up? I told you I don't speak English that well, right? What opened you up?
We make a perfect couple. Perfect.
Listen, what made you open up to trying something different after years of suffering?
Well, my friend sent it to me, and she said, Irene, humor me. And I was waiting for my 10th epidural. So the technology came at the worst time. My body was you have to visually see to understand what I went through. And I was waiting for my 10th epidural because my case was closing, and I was going to go to take my daughter finally. Her 16th, 17th, 18th birthday, we're going to celebrate. She wanted to go to Amsterdam and Paris. She wanted to go to Paris since she was a little girl. And I was like, how am I going to do this 10, 12 hours on the plane? I can't sit. And if I start shaking, they're going to have to land the plane because I don't know when it stops. So, and I can't sit. I have to stand. So it was a hot mess. So I actually did it to my friend so she would stop bothering me.
Got you.
That I did it because she bothered me every single day. Did you put the product on? Did you put the socks on? No, I don't want it. I don't want to be disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm getting my epidural and I'm going to be okay for 4 weeks. I put it on and.
So let me explain this to people, because I forgot to put your video up, Miss Irene. I forgot, because that video would explain. So imagine tartar dyskinesia times 10. So her whole body would be shaking uncontrollably. She couldn't walk, her head shaking, her legs shaking, her whole body is shaking all at the same time. And her miracle was somebody gave her a patch. This patch, and I'm not gonna steal your thunder. I just because
It's actually was a sock. It
it
started
was a
with the
sock.
sock.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
she almost had something like tardive dyskinesia, but it was over her total body, not just in the face area. And she couldn't stand still. That's why she said she had to stand up. And forgive me, viewers, because she sent me the video and I forgot to load it up. That's what happens when you're going through grievement. But
It's
hey,
okay.
we're still here having a great time. So they gave you something that caused your body instantly to not convulse. Am I saying it right?
Yes, stop shaking. Yes,
Stop
yes,
shaking. And that was amazing. So tell me about that technology.
So the technology is vibrotactile trigger technology. So basically, it's like braille for your brain. So the moment it touches your skin, and you can see I have many different I don't know how to do it, but I'm about
I'm gonna have to
seven
call you
patches.
Patches. I'm gonna have to call you
Yeah,
Patches.
yeah. My daughter calls the queen of patching. And so what it does, it's basically optimizes the brainstem and essential nervous system and puts it in balance. It's like a light turns on. That's it. It's that simple. There's nothing in it except a QRQ code. Specific code sends a signal to your brain
Wow.
and tells it what to do. So if it's disconnected, right, it connects itself. That's
Wow.
it. It optimizes it. It's optimizes it. It's that simple. Nothing more to it. It seems very out there, and it is. The technology is really out there, but it basically picks up the nerve ending, the sensories, and the right signal goes to the right area. Braille for your brain,
Wow.
blind people, those little dots, how braille, right? They tells them exactly with the fingertips what they're reading.
Wow. Wow.
That's
We
exactly
need
how it works.
we need to pass the term mean people nice. I just walk by, stick it on them. Pop, be nice. Pop, be
Be nice.
nice.
Oh yeah.
Pop,
We
be nice.
we actually have a joy patch, so that's perfect for
Oh, for
that.
real? It ain't got no
Yes,
weed in it or
it's
nothing because I don't do no
no, no,
marijuana and nothing like that. So
no. It's you put it on and it really optimizes your mood. It's beautiful. And
listen,
I
Miss Irene, you got to send me one of them
yeah,
patches. You
sure, we'll talk
Miss
afterwards.
Patches is gonna have to send me and my wife some patches, especially what I'm going through right now, y'all. But let me
Yes,
tell
I
you,
got you.
since I've been on this podcast, I have not been thinking about my problems. So thank you for allowing me to actually do this podcast today because it it feels like therapy right now because I'm not thinking about my mom. I'm not thinking about what I got to go through coming up this Saturday. Something I knew would happen one day, but I just didn't know it was going to be coming soon. So let's go to the segment purpose through pain. That's what I want to. Yeah, I think I want to call it purpose through pain. How
Yes.
did your pain transform your purpose? Tell everybody out there, how did your pain? Because we're running close to time. How did your pain transform into purpose?
So when I went through pain by myself, most of it, and I
Uh huh.
didn't want anyone to go through that pain alone. That's why I start sharing my story. That you're not alone. I'm here for you. I get it. I don't need anything from you. The first 6 years, I had nothing to give to anyone to help them,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to support that because I wanted to support it with positivity, not just draining someone. Pain is draining, and when you get into those groups, it's all about you know, misery loves company,
Mm-hmm.
and I get it, but I also say joy loves company as well.
That's correct.
And before I gave up, I was still in a hope and joyful moment saying, mind over matter, we can get it. Yes, I'm in pain. Yes, my body is falling apart. But we did this little steps and let's celebrate that because it's exhausting. My body shook, it was exhausted, but
Wow.
I dressed up, I washed dishes, I did 2 clients. That's amazing. So be gentle with yourself and give yourself grace. So I want people to know that the disability or the pain doesn't own you. You own it. Right. And that's when I also that came in that part of acknowledging it, but not allowing it to run your life until the doctors told me there was no hope. Then I just hated it.
Oh,
but I
gotcha.
used it as a power. And I was doing this self-developing, and there was a pastor, and it was a beautiful, I know we don't have a lot of time, but I just want to share it. It was a whole week. And on Sunday, I was like, I'm going to take a rest. I've been doing this whole week. It's very emotional. I have to go deep. But again, God talks to me, said, Irene, you need to be this. You need to go listen to this pastor.
Wow.
And this pastor felt like he was talking to me. He said, God gave you this difficult journey. He gave you this pain. So you can go through it, and they gave it to you because he knows that you will share the power of getting to the other side. You're not gonna waste it. He said, don't waste your pain, don't waste your scars. Be proud of them. Use that pain as power to help others to go through their pain. And I mean, I'm just giving a little bit.
No, that's good.
I literally sat there for 30 minutes and cried because every word he said. You were chosen. I was chosen to stay alive from the first car accident. I'm going to bring it all back. It ties to everything. And that's when I realized that the first car accident, I had to have the second car accident. You know what he said? You're going to learn, you're going to teach, you're going to heal, you're going to bring people to the light. And here we are. I'm meant to be here to give your audience the light. And
Amen.
That's from the first car accident. My struggle, my pain, now is my light to help others, to show you can do it. Stay in faith. Maybe my thing is not for you, but keep knocking on those doors. Keep looking for your miracle. Even if you don't believe it, freaking pray.
Yes. So let's talk about the big lesson. Because to me, what I'm hearing is the big lesson. And this is my last question. What did suffering teach you that success could never teach you?
Gratitude, patience, empathy, faith, trusting the process, and I always say, I don't know why I'm going through it. I will know later. I know it's terrible here, but I knew the second car accident happened for a reason. And the reason is it brought me to you. Every single person that comes to my life was preparing for 20 something years, more longer than 20 years ago, 30 years ago, that car accident happened, right? Prepared me to be here with you. And I had to go through it to understand empathy, to understand depression. I judged people because my mind was so strong. Nothing could break me apart. And sometimes we have to fall and then rise up to understand other people's struggle.
Wow.
Right?
So,
if you
so
don't
listen,
understand it, you can relate to it.
That's right.
I mean, I can go on and on.
No. Listen, Miss Irene. Listen, I want you to look into that camera, right? For the person that's watching this episode right now, who feels like God done gave up on them, they feel like giving up, what would you say to this person right now?
Your difficult moment will become your superpower. Live into it, get through it, and on the other side, there's miracles you can't even imagine. And I'm going to say one more thing, that you are not buried. I felt buried in my pain, in my problems, in my debt. But I was planted, like a seed planted in the dirt. And
buried, not planted.
You're going to water it, and you're going to rise as a oak. Oak is a really powerful tree. You're going to rise up, and you're going to shine bright through your pain and then inspire others. So don't live in doubt, live in your power.
See, listen, people, sometimes we think our life is falling apart, not realizing it's being realigned. Sometimes, Miss Irene, the pain we are in is preparing us for the purpose we've been praying for. And sometimes, people, the miracle doesn't come how we expect it, but it always comes when we're ready to receive it. Listen, y'all. This is the Mind Changers Podcast. I'm your host, Lamar Blakely, and I'm here with the amazing Miss Irene.
Massive love to everyone.
Vaksberg. Listen, until next time, love, peace, and happiness. And You have just been shifted on the Mind Changers podcast. We told you.
We told y'all. We came to expose the lies and reveal the truth. We told y'all. We bring in biblical principles of factual truth. We told y'all. We came